Now, is HS2 going to be scrapped? Officially, the high-speed line from London to Birmingham and, of course, beyond is going ahead. But unofficially, well, the sharks seem to be circling. The latest question mark raised by, effectively, the Deputy Chancellor, the Conservative leadership hopeful as well, Liz Truss. She's Chief Secretary to the Treasury, so she's in charge of the spending review due later this year. In an interview with The Spectator, she was asked whether she'd consider scrapping HS2, and she said, and I quote, "That's a matter for the zero-based capital review I'll be looking at very intently." Andrew Pendleton is from the New Economics Foundation, is here in the studio. And Henry Morrison is on the line, Director of the Northern Powerhouse Partnership. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Andrew Pendleton, first of all, is there a case that she is right that is broadly based?
Yes, there is a case for reviewing HS2 now, and that's because it's in a way, it's a solution in search of a problem. It's been around for a long time, and I think the nature of travelling has changed in that time. And the biggest problem we need to solve on the rail network now is commuting. So as we're speaking now, people will be packed into trains across the country. Many of them will be, the vast majority, will be travelling over commuter distances, not over longer distances.
Harry Morrison, what do you reckon?
Well, I'm afraid that's just frankly ridiculous, because you need to build more capacity to be able to commute. At the moment in the north of England, the same lines between, say, Leeds and Manchester, or between Leeds to Birmingham, for instance, are carrying commuter traffic as well as those travelling long distances. What HS2 will do is release significantly more lines for commuting. And that's why you do need a new high-speed network for the north to sit alongside the Victorian train lines, which, unlike where you're sitting in London with your guest, here in Middlesbrough, we've not built new train lines since the Victorian era, and we need to do something about that.
Andrew?
Well, precisely. So don't start in London. The report that the New Economics Foundation produced a couple of weeks ago showed that actually the effect of HS2 will be to concentrate its benefits in the capital, and the other cities in the Midlands and the North won't get so much of the benefit of HS2, and that's according to HS2 Limited's own figures. So don't start in London, but by all means, yes, absolutely, we need more capacity. This isn't a debate about not spending money on the railways, because we urgently need investment.
But we do, don't we, need that capacity between London and Birmingham as well, and that's the point that railway people make, railway industry insiders, is you need that extra capacity, and if you're to provide it efficiently without completely messing up lines for decades, you have to build the new one.
Well, so the first thing I would say about that is that the DfT needs to open up data, because at the moment data is commercially confidential because our trains are operated by private companies. The second thing to say is that when we were writing our report, I got a colleague of mine to go and stand on Milton Keynes Station, because he lives in Milton Keynes, and do a survey, and half to two-thirds of the people travelling at rush hour out of London get off at Milton Keynes. So those trains are not full when they go beyond that distance.
Well,
The point here is that we need to address the problem in hand, which is that all cities have grown. More of us travel into cities for our work now, and actually the North and the Midlands have far less investment than London and the South East, and that's where we should start.
Henry Morrison?
I was going to say, Justin, the idea that this is being based on someone standing on a train platform is just frankly ridiculous. I mean, the Northern Powerhouse and Transport for the North have produced a transport plan for the north of England. It's costed at around £70 billion. It includes all the high-speed infrastructure and the conventional railways we need in the north. And as someone who actually lives in Bradford, where Andrew suggested building a train line through a shopping centre that's just been built, I think we should build a transport network the north of England wants, rather than a think tank that seems to base its evidence on someone standing on a train platform.
Why build it to and from London? That's the point. Why not spend all the money in the north?
Because the reality is that the extension of HS2 from Birmingham to Leeds and to Manchester is not actually just a train line to London. It increases capacity, for instance, between the Midlands and the north. But also, for instance, if you want to build a train line that allows you to get from Manchester Airport to Manchester Piccadilly, it will carry trains to London, but it will also carry people travelling from Liverpool to here in Darlington or Newcastle. The reality is that what HS2 is a project that links together with the rest of our plans for northern transport. And what you can't do is rip away HS2 and still deliver the rest of the infrastructure. It's a package deal. And Andrew doesn't have an answer to that.
Let him try and have an answer to it now.
No, hang on a second.
Let him answer it.
The crunch question is, if you took the money and divided it up among the cities of the Midlands and the North, would they choose actually to spend it on linking themselves more quickly to London?
Yes, they wrote to The Guardian and told you your report was wrong and that they would rather spend it that way. So Judith Blake and the leader of Birmingham wrote to The Guardian after you published your report and said you were wrong and that they want HS2.
That's not the people, that's some representatives of the people, I suppose you could say.
Well, Andrew doesn't speak for them, does he? He doesn't speak for the people either. He speaks for the people who paid for his report, and they're not the people of the North.
In 10 seconds, Henry Morrison, if Liz Truss was thinking of tearing this up, you would say to her what?
I think that Liz believes in rebalancing the economy. She believes in the Northern Powerhouse. She should support conventional infrastructure and she should support HS2. We need both.
Henry Morrison, Andrew Pendleton, thanks both.